Welcome back, it's me Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and this is my Christmassy video. Today is the Friday before Christmas, and I thought I would take the time to talk about some Christmas traditions around the world and what I usually do for Christmas. And I also wanted to mention that the winner of the bathroom goodies giveaway from the video last week is Mila Robert. She retweeted the video and she got picked as the winner. So get in touch, send me a private message with where you want me to send those goodies, and they're all yours. Christmas traditions. First of all, I'll tell you what it's like in my family. I grew up in Minnesota, which is in the Midwest of the United States, have lots of aunts and uncles on both sides, and usually around Christmas time there's like this much snow on the ground and it's freezing cold outside. So the days before Christmas and during Christmas vacation when you're a kid are spent outside, going ice skating, playing hockey, going sledding, maybe going skiing. By the way, if you're hearing slurping sounds in the background, it's because the cat is eating just right outside of the frame. Usually the way we would do it is on Christmas Eve, which is the 24th, my mom's side of the family would get together, and they still do it. I just, I don't live there anymore, so I never get to go anymore. But yeah, so the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, we would go to my mom's side of the family, and everybody would get together and bring something to eat, and it would be a big festival, and I miss it. And so anybody in my family who's watching this, sorry that I can't be there, but I've also realized that going home for Christmas is probably about the worst time to go home if you want to have a really great visit, because everybody's always so stressed out. So in that sense, I guess I don't like to go home for Christmas, although I do miss being with my family. Does that make sense? There were always presents under the tree already a couple days before Christmas, and those were the presents like that I gave to my brother or my sister, or that some of the presents that we would get from our parents, because in the States, at least where I grew up, not all the presents came from Santa Claus. We also gave presents to each other. So if we were good kids, then we usually got to open one present on Christmas Eve, and a lot of times it was like, film for the camera or things that would be like useful for the next few days or for the Christmas vacation. But then we would go to bed, and as soon as you're asleep, if you're a kid in the United States, then Santa Claus comes, and the tradition is that he would come down the chimney and come through the fireplace, and he would leave then tons of presents under the tree and in the stockings that we had hanging on the stairs. When we kids would wake up in the morning, then we'd be like, oh, let's go downstairs and look, and then there'd be tons of presents, and it was a great big festival. And then we would open all the presents and go to church. I was raised Catholic, so we'd go to Mass at like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning, and that was always the hardest thing because we had already opened the presents and had all these fun toys and things at home to play with, and then we'd have to sit through the whole Mass until we could go home and play. Yeah, and then usually on the 25th is when we would go to my dad's side of the family, and he also has 7 or 8 brothers and sisters, and so lots of aunts and uncles, lots of cousins, lots of food, and yeah, lots of fun. And that was basically then the end of the Christmas tradition for us. And I asked you recently on Twitter and on Facebook if you're not from the United States or Germany, because I know what it's like there, to tell me about what your Christmas is like. So here are some of the things that you wrote. Neil Kettlewell says, open prezzies on the 25th, usually have a turkey, but this year being a bit radical and having goose. Oh. And he says, and it's Father Christmas here, but Santa is becoming the norm. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Neil. Merry Christmas to you too. Alex Lara writes here, I'm from Mexico. We open presents on the 25th, and we believe in the baby Jesus, not Santa. The holiday Mexican dishes vary between states, but personally we make either fish or spaghetti and turkey. If you're from Mexico, why don't you have nachos and burritos? I thought that's all that people in Mexico eat. Just like people here in Germany only eat sausage and sauerkraut. Tammy Boyer writes, I'm French-Canadian from Northern Ontario. We've drifted from this tradition called Le Réveillon since our extended family has scattered throughout North America. But back when I was a kid, usually we would gather at one family member's house on Christmas Eve, like we did. Lots of singing, drinking, and even the spoons come out to play till it's time to go to midnight mass. Oh, midnight mass was also an option for us when we were kids, but we usually would go during the next day. So after midnight mass, little ones are woken up to open presents since Père Noël somehow came to bring us gifts, and a big Christmas dinner is eaten in the middle of the night. We're talking turkey, tortilla, ragout de pâteau de cochon. I'm not good at French pronunciation. Then she writes, indigestion, anyone? Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about there. Off to bed for a few hours, then it's time to do the visiting circuit Christmas morning. It's all about extended family. Totally very similar to us, except that we never had dinner in the middle of the night. I think I've actually never heard of that before, so cool. That's one thing about the Christmas, the whole holiday season. I already have reached the point that I cannot eat any more cookies or chocolate or sweet things or fried things. I'm done with it. And the next person who comes at me with a chocolate covered anything, I'm gonna probably puke in their face. All right, one more here. Kristen Perkola says, I'm from Finland and it's Santa Claus and he lives here, you know. Oh, does he? We open presents 24th on Christmas Eve, and before that we go to the sauna, eat ham, potatoes with sauce, lots of different kinds of casseroles like carrot, rutabaga, and potato. That sounds good. Different kinds of fish, rosoli salad, it's beetroot and carrots. Not bad. Cheeses, oh Jesus, cold cuts, and in the morning we rise, eat porridge with raisin or plum kissel, and lots to eat, and we drink mulled wine or home-brewed beer. Home-brewed beer. I know that some of you out there are really into that, so get in touch with Krista Perkola on my Facebook and maybe she can give you a good recipe. Well, so thank you everybody for letting me know what you do on Christmas, and thank you for, you know, just being a part of these videos that I do anyways. And if you're still wondering, oh, you know, I'd still like to do something good for somebody. What about maybe Morgan? What could I do for his Christmas? Well, I'm still accepting patrons over on Patreon, and the first people who signed up, I already sent out their first package of goodies, so if you're one of those people and you got them already, please let me know because I sent them a while back. Also, the people who order t-shirts, you should be getting them any day now. And when you get them, please send me a picture because I didn't get one. I didn't order one for myself, so I really want to see what they look like. Now, this might be it until 2015. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, and happy travels!